Ladies and gentlemen, I am joined by a very, very, very special guest all the way from the US. I am joined by a legend, one of the best rappers, one of the best dancers. She has worked with some of your biggest names in the industry, has featured on some of your biggest TV shows. And listen, she writes songs for other people's, she dances for other people. This girl is multi-talented, has been taken over, and I can't wait for you to hear all about her journey and what she has been up to. And most of all, I can't wait till you hear her music, because this girl needs to not just blow in the US, we need her here in the UK. There's definitely room for you. And without further ado, I would like to introduce the one and only Sharaya J.
Hey! What's up, Queen? Look, that was a dope intro. Good looking out.
You deserve it. But listen, here in the UK, we call you Sharaya, but I know it's Sharaya J. So let's make sure we get that stuck in your head. Sharaya J is in the building with us here at Reprezent. How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling so good, Queen, man. Just blessed and just thankful, holiday season. So I'm around my family. So it's big energy, good energy.
Yeah, you're looking, just every time I see you, you just get more beautiful and beautiful. I feel like you're just always going to be beautiful forever. Like, can you teach me?
Thank you. Thank you, my boo. Appreciate that.
Okay, I'm going to just ask you a few questions. I just can't wait to hear. Myself personally, even though I've met you, I've been in studio with you, I feel like I still don't know the ins and outs of Sharaya. Yeah. So take us back. Tell us where you're from and how you actually got into music.
Right, so I'm a native of Hawaii, you know what I mean? But I was raised in Jersey City, New Jersey. And so, which was special because, you know what I mean? I was just like East Coast. I fell in love with East Coast. I came up on the East Coast. And so a lot of the music and everything that was going around at that time, that was my early inspirations or whatever. But yes, grew up in Jersey. My household was a music household. Like, that's what it was. It was hip hop all day, every day. My father was in a hip hop 90s group. My mom's loved music. She was a music head. So they just kind of engulfed me in the culture since I was a little girl. Like, I always say music chose me because it felt like I never had a choice. It just was what my life was, you know what I mean, as a little kid.
But you love it though. You literally embody it.
Obsessed. I'm obsessed with it. Like, I love music. Yeah, it is a part. It's a big part of me. It's who I am.
Yeah, 100%. And anyone who's heard your music, who's seen any of your music videos, will know it's literally you live and breathe and sleep and eat and everything to do with music. It's literally
big
who you are. Real talented artist.
Thank you.
You've had like the opportunity, and respectfully, rightfully so, because of how talented you are. You had the opportunity to work with like some of your biggest names and some of your icons. By the way, to me, I class you as an icon, and I'll go into that a little bit later on. But you were actually in 2010 signed to Gold Mind, Missy Elliott's label. How did that come about? That's absolutely insane.
Wow, I know. It was so crazy. And it really was just it had to be like a chance meeting because it wasn't nothing that was planned or anything like that. So Missy always been a big advocate and supporter of the dance community. And like you said, I was a dancer and a choreographer too in this business. And so we had a lot of the same mutual friends. And one day we just linked up, met each other at a dinner party. And when you get in the building with a bunch of creators, there's dancers in the building, it's going to be a circle. If it's liquor, music, it's a circle, people battling, you know what I mean? That's how it's going down. That's how we give it up. And so that's what went down. But I remember after I got out the circle, then sis came up to me and basically was like, yo, like, what's your name? Who you signed with? Who are you working with? Like, I know a superstar when I see a superstar. Like, what's good? And at the time, I wasn't really hardcore, like locked into no deals or, working with anybody on a mentorship level. And she pretty much just offered me a mentorship right then in that moment, saying like, yo, if you let me take you under my wing, I'll show you the ropes of this music thing. And, coming in the business as a female MC, somebody like Missy Elliott, the icon, for female MCs, like that was just a big opportunity that I just could not pass up on.
That's insane. Like, congrats to you. And that's something that, literally goes down in history. And And she's a superstar, and she could see a superstar. And everyone can see a superstar when they look at you. You really are extremely talented. So yeah, it doesn't surprise me that she just looked at you and was like, yeah, she's cold. You've even danced. I saw you. She posted a video the other day on Twitter, one of her older music videos, not that old, and you were in there dancing. I was like, that's Sharaya J.
Yeah. Word. Yep. Yeah,
that's insane. But like, having met you myself and having seen how hard and dedicated you are, it doesn't surprise me again that you went on and set up your own like production company, Banji Entertainment LCC. Yes. I've seen how involved you are with music videos. Like this girl, people, she rehearses for her music videos, which is what every single artist should be doing. Everything, the vision, everything, she controls it all and does it diligently. You seriously take your craft extremely seriously.
Serious.
What do you think are the key ingredients are to being a dope artist?
I think it is, first and foremost, I just say that it's the passion behind your art. Like, you gotta love this thing like in a different type of way, not for a check, not for popularity, not for fame. Like, I think the true essence of being a true superstar and just embodying that kind of thing is loving and being passionate about what you do. You know what I mean? And you always gotta not be afraid of hard work, because I always think like, oh, it's somebody out here working harder than me, so I gotta work, you know. So that keeps me just on my toes. And even coming up with somebody like Missy, she has a real strong work ethic as well. And so, you know, and she had #1 hits and had a career. Like, she probably don't have to make another record if she didn't want to, but she still get up every day and work like she never made it. And so I was already in that space anyway. So I would definitely say that it takes that type of energy. And like you just said, we ate, slept, breathed music. Like, it was no distractions. Like, when we was coming up, it was just, we barely was watching, like, going out. We wasn't going out because the mindset was, if you can't hear your record playing in the club, then you don't need to be in the club. You know what I mean? Like, so it was very much, only thing you need to do was honing in on your creativity and your art and your craft. And so we focused a lot on that, and we were serious about it. And I think that another thing that a lot of new artists too should just keep in mind, or any artist in general, is understanding and knowing how to remain a student too, because you will learn and forever be learning. And so you can't be afraid to kind of step into that. A great leader knows how to be a great follower too. You know what I'm saying? So I would say that remaining a student and just, putting the art first. I always put the art first, like at the top of the list.
You definitely do. Like, watch her music videos, listen to her music, and she's not telling no lies. And I like you said always be a student kind of first. Is that what you just said? I love that. You never stop learning, and the craft always goes first. I think that's dope. Thank you so much for sharing that, Sharaya.
Absolutely.
Everyone that's tuned in, I'm currently interviewing Sharaya J. She's an American rapper. She's absolutely dope. Will lick off a man's head, a female's head, whether it's rap or dance. This girl is super talented. Previously worked with Missy Elliott and a lot more, which we're going to be discussing. By the way, she made me get on my Christmas hat because this is definitely a Christmas special. Leave the best
I love it.
last.
I should have worn mine. I
know. I should have made you, but I want you to come as you. I need the people to see how beautiful you are. You know?
Thank you, Boo.
Without further ado, would you like to introduce your first track for us? So, Sharaya, like, before I even met you, to me, you were like an icon, because I'd already seen your videos. I'd already been like, who is this girl? Wow, you could see that you take your craft seriously. You're like a real hip hop artist to me, you know, and a lot of people can learn from you. What is it that inspires you to make music and just be how you are in general?
I'm I've always been a creative kid. First of all, like, I was that kid. I was doing everything. I was painting, dancing, making my clothes, writing raps, writing short stories. And so I think that just me and you was having a conversation, and I think I said that, music chose me. It's just something that I've always been a vessel for, like, creativity. And so I can get inspired by a lot of different things. You know what I mean? Definitely where I came from, You know what I mean? I'm inspired a lot, like, because a lot of my raps and all that come from me just being obsessed with hip hop in the 90s, like, you know, being a young kid and watching stars like Salt and Pepper, or, you know, I mean, Lauryn Hill, like, you know, coming up, and they were just so legendary to me that I used to watch TV and be like, yo, I want to be like them. You know what I mean? I would be inspired by those type of artists and just the hip hop culture in general. And so I think that, you know, with me, every time I do a project, I try to outdo my last project, you know what I mean? And try to just try to reinvent and stay creative. And I think that just kind of keeps me ahead of the curve a little bit.
Wow, that's amazing. Definitely. And I just wanted to say, like, in 2018, you took part in a very big like competition. You were all over the news, all over social media, and your face was all over the TV. Tell us a bit about this competition and how did you get into it?
It was crazy. The Four, yes, it was the Four on Fox 5 TV. And what an amazing experience. I just got to put that out there first and foremost, because it was a monumental like moment in my life. Like, you know how you have those things that you go through and you look back in retrospect and say, that was special. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what the Four was for me. Yeah, they had just reached out to me one time, and I remember I was in the gym and the producers gave me a call, and I answered from a random number from LA because I was in Atlanta at the time, and they called me and said, hey, you know, we did this show called The Four. We've been paying attention to your journey. We love who you are as an artist. Would you come and fly to LA to meet with us? And I've been a person and an artist that hasn't really been like all into reality TV. Like, I've been asked to be on other reality television shows before, but I kind of passed on it because I didn't feel like I connected with them. But it was just different with The Four. When I looked at the type of show it was, what I loved about it was more like based upon your talent and your craft, opposed to your private life or what you do outside of, you know, your art. And so that, I think that resonated with me a little better. But I flew to LA and met up with the producers. And when I met with them, it was probably 45 minutes after I met with them, they called me, and one of the producers was like, listen, we haven't even announced this yet for anybody, but I'm just so excited to call and tell you that, you know, we want you to have that seat representing hip hop for this season. And then it was just a whirlwind after that. You know what I'm saying? Once I accepted it, then, you know, I was on my way and into a journey that just, you know, was amazing.
Yeah, you're downplaying that. You were the most long-standing artist in your seat. You did not get kicked out of your seat. Are you mad?
in the history of the show, though, longest seat holder ever.
No, I didn't even know that.
Word, yes.
That is,
to this day.
You're the winner then, you get me? Because people that don't know, Sharaya came runner-up. Now, yeah. I cried. By the way, I was watching it. So I actually cried because I saw the passions, blood, sweat, and tears, like from the TV, and how dedicated you were. And obviously, you held your seat the longest. My opinion, yes. But you are the real winner. Saying that, while you were on the show, Sharaya, you received some devastating news. Like, and to me, it showed me that if you're true to your craft and like you believe in yourself and you're someone that's tenacious, you showed me that doesn't come from external things. It's an internal drive, and you just have to have that push. And Sharaya, you found that push, and I just want to know, what was it like? What was going through your mind? Like, what kind of things was you saying in your head for you just to keep going?
Yeah, you know what actually happened was I got my diagnosis. So yeah, I was diagnosed with stage 2 breast cancer, and I got my diagnosis 2 months before the show even called me. And so by the time the show called me, I had gone through 1 round of chemo, and on my first round of chemo, my hair fell out. Like I started, you know, my hair started falling out immediately. And so by the time the show called me, I was already bald. But they had no idea that I was even dealing with that battle before they called me. So I went to LA, I had the meet and everything, and they offered me the chair, which a lot of people didn't realize that I didn't get that chair. They offered me my chair immediately. And then 3 weeks later, while the producers are building the story and getting your backstory together, I remember the producer called me. He said, all right, Sharaya, we're almost done with your story. Beautiful story. You know, we got together. But is there anything else you want to add to it that maybe you haven't mentioned? And woo, woo, woo. So I was like, you know what? Yeah, let me give you a call back, because I do want to add something. So of course I got off the phone, I called my mom, I chopped it up with her, and I pretty much was like, you know, this would be a big decision I have to make, you know, to agree to go on this show. And then what do I do? Do I share this journey that I'm about to step on that I have no idea about, but with the world to see, you know what I mean? I'm a private person in real life. So for me to even go up there and be opening up and in a space that I was willing to just go up there as my real self, walk in my truth, and not really be concerned about how anybody on the outside really felt about it. And so I called him back and I said, yeah, there is this one little thing, you know, that I'm going through. And so that I spilled the beans, and they all gagged. None of them even knew. They had no idea. Then what I appreciated about the four is they pretty much was like, yo, if you don't want us to share this with the world, like, we don't have to. This doesn't have to be your story, which I could appreciate, because, you know, a lot of reality television shows, sometimes they looking for that story to like run with. And I like that they respected me enough to say, hey, this is not what we're doing here. You know what I mean? You got your seat before we even knew that was a story. So that had not one thing to do with the other. You know what I mean? And so so I hopped on the show, and they were very accommodating. I had to get my doctors from Atlanta to talk with my doctors out in LA. I was, you know, being because initially I was getting my chemo in Atlanta. I was getting my chemo in, I'm sorry, did I go off? Oh, okay, yeah. My phone was. But initially I was getting my chemo in Atlanta, and I had to fly from LA back to Atlanta. Then I would fly back to LA that night and be on the stage the next day to battle whoever I had to battle. Meanwhile, I was the only person writing original lyrics, because I was the only MC. So everybody else was singing cover songs, but I had to write bars, memorize bars, you know, go to chemo, come back, deal with that. And it was a battle. But you know what I always say, like, when your art reflects your life, then you are aligned, like, with the universe. Like, you're completely aligned. And although I was going up on that stage every week and battling a new opponent, I also was battling every day for my life at the same time. And so I just knew that it took for me to, like you said, reach inside and really use those, the power of my mind and my thoughts. Like, that's when I really, truly locked into how your mindset about something will push you into that space. You know what I mean? I saw myself healing and making it through way before I actually got there. You know what I'm saying? And so just a beautiful moment for me. It showed me how strong I was, my tenacity, and I really just, the connection I had with the creator to pull me through that thing all the way to the end.
Wow.
So when I didn't win, when I didn't get the W that the world thought I should have got, I still walked away with a W. You know what I mean? Because at the end of that thing, I just was, my tumor had went away that I started with. You know what I mean? I had did my art on a platform that was so amazing. And then the love and support that poured out for me sharing my story, it just, you know what I mean? It just transcended the whole experience.
Damn, like that brought a tear to my eye. That was very powerful. Thank you so much for sharing that. And that literally truly shows like who you really are. You are about the music. Like you said, we live, breathe it. If you're not doing it, then you're not living, you know? And
come on.
You survived the show and you survived cancer. Like may God continue giving you the best health and, you know, wins. And you are really a winner. And I know you're going to continue to grow. And I feel like one day you might even judge one of them shows. Like, it would be sick to see you.
Honey, you know, that's what everybody say anyway. They're like, Chad, you could have been a judge on that show. And don't get it twisted. A lot of those artists, like a lot, you know, I had a lot of experience in that arena, and it was some artists who were coming up there, you know, brand new, and they would ask me, like, this behind the scenes, like, they would ask me what record I thought they should sing. Can I give them any tips? Can I do? So while I'm still in there trying to do what I got to do, I'm still giving, you know, dropping jewels right here and there for other people. Because at the end of the day, I felt like, you know what I mean? Somebody gave it, somebody passed it to me. So, you know, I was just like doing the same in a sense.
You're so nice to even support people that you're competing against. It just shows you really are who you say you are, you know, and you're confident in your own craft, and you know you're sick. When you're sick, you don't see no one as a threat. Like, you bodied every single person on that show anyway, and they weren't even writing their own lyrics, and you still help them.
And I still help them too.
Saying that, like, you literally are, you've got your hands in many different baskets. You're very, very talented. I read that you actually, because straight after the show you did a song with Little Mix, and I read you co-wrote that too. That's just blown me away more. Tell us how that came about. What was it like?
Yes. So yeah, shout out to Little Mix. Those my babies. After the show, so they locked in and they were watching the 4. They were tuned in. And they said, you know, we would be in the studio, and Thursday night we would be like, oh, we got to get to see, you know, the show. So they were big supporters of me. And so they reached out to my management team after the show. And I was actually in Hawaii at the time because I just went back to Hawaii with my family just to replenish, regroup right after the show for a little bit. And so they called me when I was out there and basically said that, yeah, we have this record and it's called Strip. And they were like, when we heard the record, when they created the record, the vibe for it, they knew that they just needed me to be on it. Like, they think I represented what the record was. And when they sent it to me, the idea, like the hook or whatever, and I'm like, yeah, I'm like, I could dig this, like, take off all my makeup because I love us under it. Like, I represent, I'm an advocate for that type of stuff, being your authentic self, you know what I mean? And because of what I just went through on the stage, like, you know, that's something. And a lot of people reached out to me afterwards because I wore my bald head like a crown. I never looked at it like, you know, a negative thing. Like, that's why I would just include it in my fashion choices on the show. I always, you know, it wasn't anything I was embarrassed about. So when we went and like shot the video for that record, it was in London. And I remember the makeup artist coming over saying, okay, look, because at that time I was still bald. I didn't have no eyebrows, like none of my brows, none of my hair on my face had grown. And so she was like, yeah, so we can put, you know, do the eyebrows and all that and add these things. And I was just like, well, that won't make sense with what we doing here. So I remember I went up there bare face and I just wrote my bars, and I wrote from my heart on how I felt, you know, and just address the things that I felt that even society right now just need to, you know what I mean, tighten up with and just love themselves and not be concerned about what social media thinks about you. And, you know, just, it was a positive record. You know, I'm all about that. So
fully, you are truly an authentic, positive, just everything. Like, any word that's around a serious creative person, that's who you are, and you deserve all the props. So I'm just glad that you continue to excel even after the show, and you will never stop shining. I know that.
Thank you.
Did you know, by the way, that one of the members on Little Mix, Jess, has left now the group?
No.
Yeah.
Why am I out the loop? Well, I might be because it's quarantine.
Just like 2 days ago, she made the announcement. Yeah.
Oh, wait, I'm like all shocked. Like, what?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's sad.
Girl groups are tough, though. I'm not even going to front. They really are. I think they're really tough to be a part of. So when you can really lock in and everybody stays strong, like, you did a thing.
Yeah, for real. Groups in general, working with some, I think for her, it sounds like more she's going through some mental, like, health issues and things like it, just was taking a toll on her mentally, and she just made a very brave decision to just look after her mental health, and I think it's important she did that.
It's very important.
So you just have
more power to her if that, you know what I mean, if that definitely, because mental health is a thing that we especially as creatives and artists, that we have to pay attention to.
Facts. So saying that, like, what other amazing things are you going to surprise us with in 2021? Can you give us a little peek into it?
I do. I feel really amazing about this coming year. I appreciate 2020 was really intense for us, but I also appreciate the time to the stillness of it. Have the time to reconnect with yourself. Look at the place you are. It's just a time to get in touch back with the inside, you know what I mean? And so I loved that part of it, because I just found so many of my creative friends found other gifts that they loved to do, got reconnected just with their friends, their family, because people couldn't really move around like during quarantine and all that. So it forced you to kind of reach out to people you might not been able to connect with, and so with that being said, I feel like I'm moving out of 2020 very creative, very inspired. My ducks in a row. I'm in the studio, of course, doing new music and trying to actually finally putting together a full, complete project, because I've never released one of those. And everybody's just like, girl, stop playing with us. And so I'm like, you know what? Say less. Like, I'm just going to lock in and do it. I just had a musical rendition of the Sister Act 2 movie that I was just cast for. It just dropped maybe a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, but it's doing crazy. It was such a beautiful thing, a new angle for me, because they really had me singing down. I'm talking about singing hardcore.
Where can we hear it?
Yeah, it's out right now. It's online. So it's just, we did a musical melody, an amazing, talented cast, singers, artists. It's all over YouTube right now. It's starting to go viral, actually. The View, which is, a show here. I don't know if you know about The View, but it's it's a show where Whoopi Goldberg is on it. And Whoopi was one of the main characters in Sister Act 2, the movie. So she actually featured it on The View the other day, on national television. And so we've really been getting amazing looks. But it's by Michael Cordy, I'm sorry. It was the director of it. We have so many amazing artists in it, and I played the role of the rapper. And so it was just a dope experience. So that's out right now. Sister Act 2 medley, directed by Michael Cordy. Check that out. So that's fire. And I also been shooting for another reality show that will drop in 2021, which I'm really excited about, because I just love the message and the energy of it. When they called me, they were just like, yo, people, they miss you on television, and, we want to do this. And it's so funny, because when I had the meeting with the Zoom people, with the producers, right away, I said, hey, listen, y'all, let me just put this out there. If this is anything where I'm gonna have to be throwing a drink, rolling around the floor with somebody, y'all got the wrong person. This is not my wave, but, I'm promoting love and positivity and, elevation. And they were like, say no more. That's why we called you. And so it's just a beautiful message, the show. I can't release the title of it, but 2021, be looking forward to it.
Wow, see, you're a star. You're always going to be on the screens. You're going to be everywhere, Sharaya. I told you. I knew that anyway. Well, thank you so much for sharing everything with us. I feel like I've got to know you even more on this.
Yes.
Thank you for your time. It's truly appreciated to have a star like you here on Represent Radio for this Christmas special as well.
Represent,
It's big love to you, Sharaya. Would you like to just introduce your final track for us before you leave us here?
I will. So this next joint right here is entitled New, and it's just so much dope energy on this. Like I said, we coming up on a new year. It's time for new perspectives, new energy. Leave all we went through in the year behind. Let's look forward to the future. So this just is a representation of how I feel right now. Brand new, right here, New by Sharaya J.